Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Practical Entrepreneur Show. I am your host, Nicholas Luna. I hope you guys have subscribed to this podcast because it is totally awesome and you get to learn a lot from the guests. And I would love it if you would share it on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, or whatever social platform that you're on. But back into the show. Today's guest is Edgar. He owns Adobo Taco out in Lakewood, California. If you are in the area or live in the area, I would highly recommend to go eat there because the tacos are bomb AF. For those who don't understand or know what AF means, Google it. But here is a conversation that we had about life, business, surfing, Game of Thrones. It is a good one. Hope you enjoy. We are here at Estrada's Insurance, but on Facebook it's also known as Nicholas Luna Health Insurance. Don't get mad at me for that, Mary, if you're listening to this. But we are here with Edgar. So Edgar, give us a little origin story. Tell us who you are, what's the name of your business, and when you're not eating tacos, what else are you eating?
Let's see. So my name's Edgar, like you said. I own Adobo Taco Grill. I've been in business I hit my being open about 4.5 years. Okay. Just hit 5 years with the lease. Took me about 6 months to get it up and running. So yeah, it's a taco spot. It's a simple little taco spot with handmade tortillas for the tacos. We try to keep it simple and provide a good product at a low price point, pretty much, or a decent price point. When I'm not eating tacos, I don't know, man. I eat a lot of tacos. Even on my days off, I'll go eat tacos in other spots. It's part of my craft. I'm kind of intrigued by them, just kind of to see what other people are doing and other locations are doing. Just kind of knowing where I'm at in the game.
Nice. From living in LA and coming from a Latino background, my parents being Mexican, I know good Mexican food. I'm not a critic, but I know good food. There's a ton of street vendors that are making tacos, and they're phenomenal. They're very close to TJ Tacos. Your tacos are just as good. So,
thank you.
I wanted to ask you, where did you learn how to make that good of tacos, or at least find someone who makes those good tacos? Because we're talking offline, you said that you don't cook.
Right. I don't cook. I cook, but I'm not big on cooking. That's not what I'm big on. My parents did start. Well, let me back it up a little bit. I grew up in South Central LA, okay. Where my parents opened up a small taco shop, a little stand on the corner of a Compton and Vernon, okay. And brought it up to being a nice sized restaurant called La Carreta. So I grew up. They started the business when I was about 10, so I grew up in the business. Always helped them. Always was kind of willing to put in the work with them to kind of help them out and get paid. I started liking money when I was
super young.
Super young, yes. I started getting paid hourly, I think, when I was 12. So
nice.
Yeah. so I was always willing to work, and I always liked learning from the people around me, the examples I had. Not just my dad as a business owner, but the actual workers that put in the countless hours and extra hard effort. So I kind of grew up with those kind of people that will put in 15, 18-hour shifts if that's what they have to do to make it work with their families. As you know, it's when you own a taco spot, you hire a lot of times, like in LA, it was low-income families where it was only the parent working most of the time, or a lot of the time maybe they were undocumented, So I learned from them, and then I lost track of what the main question was. But
the main question is, how did you come up to be able? How were you able to make a good taco, just like any other taco in LA, okay. and in street vendor?
So back to that. That's who I learned from. I learned from my parents. They were very successful, not pretty successful. And I learned how to make a taco, and I didn't necessarily learn how to create everything exactly as they did, but I paid attention to the things where I thought I could improve a little bit on them, or where I saw, okay, there's a market for this. I could change this a little bit, and it'll give me better profits. And definitely, I paid attention to the type of person that was working in that industry, and what their conditions were like, and what they wanted from a job, and how they wanted to be treated as employees.
Got it.
So I've always thought that in order for to bring out a good product, you have to have good employees, and you have to trust your employees to do as not as they're told, but as they're taught. And I think that's where I believe we put out a good product, where our employees kind of follow what they're taught, and put in an effort to bring out a good product, not just put out a product, but put out a good product.
Nice. So you would say pretty much that you're able to make a good, or your restaurant is able to make a good product based off the employees who make the product, and based off what they're taught.
Yes, definitely. It's definitely experience, from kind of doing it for such a long time, and knowing what works and what doesn't, and messing up a lot of times.
Right.
Surely. I grew up in the business, but I messed up a lot. But I was able to kind of pay attention to that, and know where I would mess up, and make sure I didn't do it again, and make sure I did it in ways that improved it, and not ways that took me backwards.
Okay. Now, how long have you been in Lakewood? How long has the store been open?
4.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said it took you 6 months to get started.
Yeah, definitely.
What was the delay?
I mean, when I got the spot, it was a rundown pizza spot. So we pretty much gutted the whole place. And then I gutted the place with help from family and friends. And then started the whole process, which is going through the health department, going through the city, and going doing things step by step, because everything takes time when you're opening a restaurant. If it's not a delay from one person, it's a delay from another, and it's not waiting for one. If it's not waiting for the city to sign off, you're waiting for I don't know, just the hood person to sign off on something else. Just things take time when you're dealing with building out restaurants.
Oh wow! Now, when you're starting the business, right? Like, so there was a 6-month delay. As far as your income, like if I didn't work for 6 months, I would be able to be afloat. But not working, but then spending money, that would make me nervous. How did you deal with that?
Yeah, I was very nervous. I kind of put all my eggs in one basket. Luckily, I had a decently saved amount of money, which I poured into the business, and I had a whole lot of credit, which I poured into the business. And my wife was working, and really keeping us afloat in the meantime while we got things up and running.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that helps out.
Yeah, definitely
There's
helps.
two, and there's you. I know what Jess says. She still does not feel comfortable, like me not letting go of my full-time job, because it's like we both can't be like business owners. Like, it goes up and down and it fluctuates, and so I can understand where you kind of need someone to take one for the team, right? To kind of get things kind of going. And once they're going, and then obviously you could move forward. So now I've been to your restaurant a couple of times, and both times that I've been there, it's been super packed. I mean, what do you think, besides your product, because your product is good, what else do you think has helped you become like probably the best taco shop in Lakewood?
I mean, there's not too many taco shops in Lakewood, but since we've opened, there's been a few that have opened. But I think we're successful there just because, for the same reason, I think we chose a good location. You want to make sure you surround your, or for me, it was picking a location where I had a steady flow of customers in the morning, which is the working class people, the people out to their lunch, taking their lunch breaks.
Okay.
For the most part, and then somewhere where you're in a residential area as well, where you have a nice mixture of both things. And I think that's really helped us. We're surrounded by a whole lot of car dealers, by private high school, public high school, and a whole lot of other things, a few banks. And so I think our location has helped us a lot too.
Do you get a lot of corporate orders like during lunchtime from like big companies like the banks and the car dealerships?
Yeah, definitely. We try to take them. Sometimes we can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they like calling last minute sometimes, or
Yeah, I can see that.
so we take them as much as we can, or if they're too large, we usually don't take them either.
Okay.
Since we're a small location, we want to make sure we're able to serve our customers that are walking in, and
okay.
not delay their orders because we have a large order, which is kind of sometimes you're in there you're in business to make money, and it's hard to say
No.
I can't do that for you, because that's what you do. You make food, and for you to turn it down, it's kind of like, really, you're gonna turn that down? But yeah, sometimes we have to turn it down. But yeah, we definitely get a lot of corporate orders.
One of my favorite restaurants for Mexican food, and now I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, Nick, that's not real Mexican food." I don't care about your opinion, so I'm gonna say what I want to say. Chipotle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and probably the main reason why I like Chipotle is of their online ordering convenience.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to work for a big insurance company. Chipotle was down the street. We were very limited for our time for our break, right? For our lunch. I knew if I placed my order online, by the time I walked to Chipotle, my order would be done, pay, pick up, come back, and I'd eat at my desk.
Right.
Do you think you'll ever want to incorporate that into your business to cater to the big companies who want to do those orders, or you want to keep it the way it is?
No, definitely. I think we're moving. The new generations are very tech savvy, and technology definitely makes things easier sometimes, especially time wise. So it's definitely something we've looked into, and we're still looking into. When the Postmates and the DoorDash barely started, we were doing those, but we found that they still weren't. They were new companies, so they were still struggling to get things right. So we stopped taking those orders. We stopped doing their services. But I've recently started looking into them again, and we're maybe thinking of doing that one more time, giving it a try. And yeah, definitely online ordering would definitely maybe help. It's just, like you said, you go in there and we're super busy. So we want to make sure that we take care of our walk-in customers first.
Gotcha.
And make sure we're not delaying their orders. But if there's a way to, and like I said, we've been looking into this. If there's a way to pause such a system during those busy rush hours, we're willing to do it. Yeah, we're still definitely looking into that.
Cool, because I think if you are obviously, if 4 years you're an infant,
right?
You're not fully matured yet, and I think eventually you'll be able to figure that out. And I think because the market, I think it's going to force you to do it. When I think of a restaurant like yourself, when I'm on my lunch, I was like, I would have it's like timing. Like, I'm like, all right, I can't go during lunch hour. It's going to be crazy busy. Yeah. It's either like 11:30 or like 1:15, 1:30, so that you can get enough time. But, right now, you still have a steady flow of walk-in customers.
Right. And we do take phone orders, and we take a lot of phone orders a day. Mm-hmm. So we do that. You could call in your order and pick it up, which is a lot. It's pretty convenient. Yeah, it's convenient for a lot of people, and they're willing to do it. It's pretty simple to do. And like I said, during our rush hours, we probably won't answer our phones. So there'll be times when people are calling and we're not answering, and they know already that we're super busy and we can't take phone calls.
Got it. That makes sense.
Orders, yeah.
Because there was a spot that Jess and I used to go to in Glendale, and when because we knew I was always busy, so we're like, let's call in, and if they didn't pick up the phone, we're like, they're busy.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
it just is what it is. What have been some of the growing pains that you've experienced with a thriving business? Because I say thriving because it's always busy when I've gone there, and I'm assuming that it's always going to be busy.
Thriving business. I think not even just a thriving business, but maybe a thriving restaurant business like ours. You have a lot of different positions with your employees, so it's always scheduling's always. It's not hard, but it's always being moved around. People always want to take vacation. People call in. So you want to make sure you get things right in that aspect, and it does create a lot of headaches sometimes. That's been one of them, definitely the scheduling and employees. Employees, I don't want to say they're a headache, but yeah, like you said, you're people. People have differences. So when you're working with a lot of people in a small confined space, it creates hot, right? Yeah, no, it creates issues. Yeah, definitely. I mean, on our first year, we had an AC system that was there when we got this place, and it didn't even work, and then it stopped working, and then we got a new AC, and that wasn't enough, so we had to get another AC. So we got 2 AC units in there. We tried to fix that problem.
Got it.
With 2 AC units. So, let's see. We've had, when you're super busy, you have people walking in. You try to do everything so that people don't slip, kids don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fall off a chair, stuff like that. But you could only do so much. People are kind of responsible for themselves. And I think it's like everything. There's been a few customers that I guess have threatened to sue because they haven't sued. I don't think they had a case. I don't think they had. But I think those have been headaches. We've had a couple of workers' comp issues already. And I think that was due to my inexperience, I think. I think I was trying to be a little too helpful to the employees and give them too much overtime. And I think it's kind of counterproductive. It kind of, like it's beneficial to them, but then when they're like, oh, well, this hurts and that hurts, I'm like, well, you want to put in 55, 60 hours a week and you don't want anything to hurt, then
yeah.
It's just your body wears out, you know what I mean? So sometimes I think that was counterproductive on my part. So I've learned kind of having to cut down overtime because of that. Not even because if it was for me, I like my people to my employees to be able to make money if possible, you know, and how they make money is through overtime.
Gotcha.
But if it's caused a couple of problems, so we've cut down on their overtime a little bit.
Okay.
Let's see, what other problems? I don't know. It's always a new set of problems. Things breaking down are always a problem. You have to constantly keep doing maintenance on stuff. And then I'm a big believer on you need to not remodel, but things have a shelf life. Even like not food, but like the stove, the table. So I'm a big believer in keeping things looking clean and new, and so. But so those are some of the issues I ran into. But
gotcha. Now, one thing I was remembered when I went to your restaurant maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago, I forgot, but I in the time frame, maybe it was a week. I was talking to Jess, and I'm just like, Editor's so fucking cool. Like, he's just so fucking cool. Like, how do you think? One, why do you think you're so fucking cool? And two, do you think having that cool personality, very laid back, has helped you in business?
I try to not be a hothead. I am a little bit of a hothead, but I know how to step back from situations and allow time to pass by before reacting. Because I think, like I said, you're dealing with a lot of people. It creates a lot of headbutting sometimes. So you have to definitely keep your cool and not overreact, because it just creates more problems. It doesn't solve anything. That's something, I don't know, I've always kind of done. Once in a while, I have overreacted, and then you have to apologize. And you do. It's what you do, you know?
Yeah.
So, but definitely try to keep my cool for the most part, yeah. especially with so many people going in and out too in a restaurant. You can't make people. You can't give people a show. I've seen places where people scream at people and stuff like that when they get mad, and it's not a good thing to see. It's not something comfortable, at least when you're having a dining experience. So.
Yeah, I can see that. And I've learned also that yelling or like, a retaliation in a violent manner or in a different so retaliating doesn't necessarily always work. There's always like backlash, and there's like you said, it creates more problems.
Yeah, and it doesn't allow you to be methodical about things and see what's going to work best. I definitely take a step back approach and step back and then act kind of deal.
Makes sense. Now, one thing that Edgar and I have a little bit of history. We used to surf. We surfed a couple times together, and I remember the first time I went out, I was like super uncomfortable because if you don't know surfing, there's different beaches, and you may think like, oh, there's only one beach. Not necessarily. There's beach breaks. There's reef breaks. The wave sometimes breaks left, breaks right.
Yeah, sometimes break
crowds.
deep, sometimes break shallow.
Yeah, right.
Definitely.
Like it's such an unpredictable sport. And do you think running a business has in any way kind of helped you, or being a surfer and running a business kind of correlated because of the ever-changing dynamics?
I don't know if it's surfing's helped me run a business, but it's one of my kind of get away from work things where I lose myself in that sometimes when I still go surf and kind of forget all about work. Nobody could reach me on my phone. Nobody could find me. It's perfect.
I know. We were having this conversation the other day, and like I haven't gone surfing in a very long time. And I was telling Edgar, I'm like, I'm a better snowboarder than I am a surfer.
Yeah.
And like, I just have to go out to the beach, like find parking, go out there. You may not catch a wave, but all it takes is one wave. You catch one wave, and all of your problems go away. You just like it's a thrill. You're just like you don't even care, right? So I can see how surfing could be a getaway.
Yeah.
And if you don't surf, well, you can't relate. But if you do surf, when you're out there on your board, just kind of sitting out there looking at the horizon and waiting for a wave, I don't think there is any more peaceful moment.
Yeah.
That I've experienced.
Definitely not. I think it's
just one of the
most
and
peaceful
Mother
moments.
Nature just there.
Enjoying the moment together. Yeah, for sure.
Because you can't, a lot of times, like, we're here, but, we're distracted by our cell phones. We're at the movies, we're distracted by our cell phones. We're at a concert, we're distracted by, people at the concert, by your cell phones. There's so many distractions, and I think surfing and snowboarding for me, it allows me to be present. So it's a nice little getaway. So I can see how it can be a getaway.
Yeah, definitely. And there's consequences if you're not paying attention all the time. So
yes.
With snowboarding and with surfing. So I've encountered both of those. So.
Yes. There's nothing like...
You definitely have to be in the moment.
Nothing worse than getting wheelbarreled.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. But yeah. So, back to business and away from surfing, because I can talk about surfing and snowboarding all day long. Now, I'm pretty sure you experienced this maybe more in the beginning, where you hit like a wall or like things were just they just weren't going your way. What kept you kind of going, pushing forward, and just didn't let you quit?
I mean, necessity for one. If you kind of put all your time and effort and money into a business venture, you have to make sure that you make it profitable, that you have put in your time and do whatever it takes to kind of get it going. Definitely, I think the first few months, first 2-3 months, I was putting in anywhere. I don't know. The first weeks, I think 1 week I put in 117 hours. But 80 to 100 hour weeks was my norm. but yeah, definitely put in the time, put in the work, and make the adjustments you need to make to make it successful. There's always a way. I believe if before starting the business you work on the financial side of it and the percentages of where you have to be and your price points and where you have to get to, you're going to be successful if you learn how to adjust to get there. It's because when you go into it, you think things are going to go one way and they don't. They go another way. And you adjust in payroll and price point and whatever it is you have to do. And if you have to get, if you have to get more employees, if you have to get rid of employees, if you just adjust and make sure you have enough money to cover your expenses and not go into the red too much.
Wow, that's really solid advice. That's like, I mean, that's better than textbook advice.
Yeah. And like we were talking about earlier, when you're opening a business, you want to make sure you know what type of business you're opening, and that, there you go. So yeah, when you're opening a business, you want to know, like me with a taco spot. I knew it was a taco spot. I knew my margins weren't going to be super high. So I wanted to make sure, okay, how much can I invest into this?
Okay.
Where it actually makes sense, like to take the risk. I definitely wasn't going to spend $200,000-300,000 opening it up. It just wasn't worth that risk. So I think you really, when you're opening a business, really have to sit down and go through the numbers of how you feel are going to work, and do your research. Look up what works for other people, what works in the industry, what doesn't work. What doesn't work. What causes people to fail, and make sure you don't make those same mistakes.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can, they have an idea, they think it works because, they like that product or service, and then they come to realize like 6 to 8 months in, when they finalize everything, no one really cares about your product or service, right? Like they're just like, you could have avoided that if you did the research. Now, let's just say there's someone who's listening that knows how to make a really good cupcake, a taco, a pizza, burger.
A lot of those people.
Right? What's some like key pieces of advice that you can give someone to, get started?
On their own business. I'm a firm believer that most people like the idea of owning their own business, but aren't ready to own their own business. They're not willing or ready to put in the time of sweat. I guess I sweat. Like sweat and tears that goes into opening your own business and going through the ups and downs of it. And actual work, like I said, I was putting in 100-hour weeks. Most people, I'll start crying with a 50-hour week. So I'm serious. Like, and I've seen this firsthand where people kind of like, yeah, I'll do it. And you give them a chance to do it, and they're like, oh no, I got this to do. I got to do that, or no, I can't. They make excuses to not do what's necessary to get them to where they need to be. So my advice is make sure you're willing to put in those 100-hour weeks. If you have kids, I'd advise you not to do it. I think if you're in that stage of your life and you want to dedicate time to your family and kids, you should kind of wait for your kids to grow up a little bit in order to start, where you're able to dedicate that time. Make sure it's what you want to do. I don't want to discourage people, because I know a lot of people think that way. Like, oh, I know how to do this really good. I'm a open up a business and this and that. But go build a business plan. Go take a few classes. Like, I did all that. Like, I you know what I mean? Like, I went to school. I make sure I knew the economics. I knew how to present a business plan. I need my demographics. So make sure you cover all your bases if you're going to do it. And if you're willing to cover all your bases and you still want to do it and you're still willing to put in those 100 hours, then go for it. But make sure you cover your bases and are willing to put in the time.
Nice. I mean, it's solid. Now, do you think, aside from all of that knowledge and stuff that you did, having worked in the restaurant since you were 10 or 12 years old, do you think that allowed you to to give you even a clearer vision of when you started your own taco spot?
I think for me it was one of those things that where I knew I wanted to own a restaurant since I was younger. I knew I had been doing it with my parents for a while. I thought I was good at it, at a kind of managing, not even maybe managing the people or just taking on the workload. I knew I was up for the workload. So yeah, definitely. It did help, but like I said, I don't like to cook. It's not. So all these people that are like, I know how to do this real good. Well, great, but there's this whole other aspect. Owning a business is not making a cupcake. It's not making a taco. It's not none of those things. It's running a business. It's like I said, knowing your ins and outs of the industry and knowing the numbers behind them. So, yeah.
Got it. No, that's. I mean, wow. I really don't know how to come back. I mean, you've kind of covered a lot, and I mean that's pretty solid. So, if you have kids, don't start a business until they're old enough.
Yeah, because
it will. A tray.
Because it will be a sacrifice. Yeah, if they could help, if you have kids and they're at that age where they're at that 12, 13, and they're gonna be able to help you, and you're gonna do it as a family, then great. But you're gonna be the bad guy in the family. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you that. You're going to be the bad guy in the story because you're going to be the one that's having to put in the time and neglect or making your kids work, which is some might not like. Yeah, I think I have 3 other brothers, and I think I was the only one that liked to work.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and they don't own restaurants. They don't want anything to do with restaurants for the most part. So maybe one other one does, but
I mean. Give or take, you just never know.
Yeah,
I know for myself and for Jess and I, we're gonna get married. And we plan to have kids. We do have kids, great. We don't have kids, it doesn't make a difference. But I'm working extremely hard to the point where one of us has the option of staying home, so that way I don't have to be the bad guy in the story. So.
Be careful with that one, Nick. Because if she's at home and you're not at home most of the time, you'll still be the bad guy.
God, that's so true.
Yeah, definitely.
And they'll never get it, right? Like, it's like, do you not know that I'm the reason why your mom can stay home? They would probably want to get it. They're like, they're 18, 20.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's definitely a work-life balance is really hard when owning a business, for sure. And doing anything for yourself, I mean, it takes putting in the time and dedication. And so.
Cool. Well, since you now own your own business, I know one of the biggest expenses is insurance, period.
Huge.
Like all kinds of insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
How have you addressed your health insurance needs now that you're...
Yeah, they're pricey. Yeah, I mean, I luckily, like you said, we've been very successful these last few years, and we're able to cover all our expenses. But if I take away as much as I pay in payroll and umbrella insurance and this insurance and that insurance, and I kind of combine what my wife and I were making before we started the restaurant, we're not making that much more. Like, we might have the freedom a little bit, and you call it freedom of kind of your own schedule, and being the boss, but you're really always answering to somebody, and it's not, I guess, like you said, we're still a new business, we still have to grow, so it's not that much of a difference in income for me.
Okay.
So, like I said, be careful what you wish for, because you'll get that, and you'll be busy, but with being busy, you'll have that many more expenses, and then, like you said, your health insurance goes up. You have to pay for all different other types of insurances, and and
yeah, I know a thing or two about insurance. So we've already made it clear that you love eating tacos, even when you're not making tacos or at your shop. Besides surfing, what does Edgar do to relax?
I get away from people. I like silence.
People-
I like
people of the
silence.
bars.
I like silence. I mean, I like my silence. I like challenging myself a little bit. So yeah, I surf. I snowboard during the winter when I can. I go fishing when I can. And then there's all kinds of chores I have to do. There's a never-ending list of things that have to get addressed and maintenance, and so I stay busy.
So just silence, right? It's one,
Yeah.
honestly, as much as I am very social and I can be very social, the people who know me know that I can be very social. I love just not talking to nobody.
Yeah, I love going home to a quiet house.
Right, and like even like when like I'm just kind of like walking around, just putting in my headphones and getting lost in my head is like the best. So
Yeah, definitely.
people who are watching this specific segment and you see me walking around with headphones, don't talk to me. Just let me listen to my music. So cool. So silence, coming home to a quiet house.
Yeah,
Are
definitely.
you a Game of Thrones fan?
Definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
what'd you think about that ending?
What everybody thought. I thought it was kind of, I don't know. It was poorly written. I don't know if I want to say poorly written, but I think they need a few more episodes to kind of, to the season was too short for everything that happened. I think they missed
I wish the White Walkers
few
would have
games.
won. That's
yeah, I would have been,
you know, if the White Walkers would have won, I think I would have been a lot happier
right?
because, I mean, the
At
way
least
it ended-
partially, right?
Yeah, right. Like I would have been like, well, fuck it, you know, they're eliminating everybody, everyone's dead, they won. You know, everyone should have just left Winterfell. Like, screw this, this delays it as much as possible, and everyone just died.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, it is
The
what it
White
is.
Walker should have at least taken out a whole lot more people.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that scene was ridiculous. That
Yeah.
episode was the best.
Yeah, definitely.
That episode was my favorite episode from that particular season. I mean, there's other episodes that I've obviously enjoyed, but it's probably one of my favorite shows. Top 3 shows, Game of Thrones. I also like Dexter. You watch Dexter?
My wife liked Dexter, so
Dexter?
I watched it a few times, but
Got it.
I didn't
Great show.
follow it too much. Yeah.
And then another good show that I like, Entourage.
Okay. Yeah, I followed that one a little bit too. But like I said, it's been the last 4 or 5 years. Maybe the last 2 years have been a little bit mellower, but the first 2 years was.
Oh yeah, like there's
nothing-
no time for TV, right?
There was no time for any television or any programs or being social or any of that.
Oh, I know.
It was complete.
It
And
kinda-
being completely immersed in your
business.
Yeah.
Though, you know, you're immersed in your business. Those relationships that you had in the past with friends, family, they're always there, whether you like them or not. That's what it is. But for like your friends, like, are they still around? How are those relationships kept?
I've never been super social. I have a few friends that I kind of kept in touch with from my childhood, and yeah, it's still the occasional every couple of months going out with them or
Okay.
talking to them, or once every couple of weeks, just getting to talk to them on the phone or anything like that. You know, yeah, definitely. I didn't really those first 2 years. I didn't really do anything with anybody. I got married that first year, which was kind of crazy, but I closed down for a week. So, besides that, I didn't do too much. Yeah, definitely. I don't want to say it suffered because I think people understand that you're trying to build your future and that you're trying to make something happen. So they understand and they support you for that. You know.
And I think
And to
that's important because if your friends don't support you when you're building your future, your business or whatever, then they really shouldn't be your friends.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
I
I
mean-
mean, you're going to piss a few people off on the way maybe, but
It is what it is.
part of it, yeah.
Like Kobe Bryant said, I'd rather have championships than friends because championships last forever
There you go.
and friends come and go.
Very
Mom-
well said.
Hashtag
Kobe.
Mamba mentality. And I know your mindset in business has to be on point. And there's a saying, you are who you surround yourself with. Who are you? Do you have any mentors? Do you have a very tight-knit circle that kind of keep you focused? what's one thing that you've, I mean, is that something that you do, or how do you stay focused with your business? Does someone else, or?
I don't know. I've like when I was younger, like I said, I looked up the people that put in the work, and I think I understand that with my shortcomings as a person, as a business owner, I make up for it with hard work. So, and like I said, I'm methodical about things, so I take my time and make my decisions, and I do the research to kind of make sure I make the right choices. And yeah, I have a couple of friends that I'll definitely talk to. That'll advise me. I have an accountant that's really good. I consider him my friend.
Okay.
Super young guy too, and very smart. And I'll definitely talk to him so he can kind of point me towards the right direction as well. And as an accountant, he sees a whole lot of scenarios for business owners. So he's like, it's been my experience that when people do this happens. This happens. So. Definitely.
That's important.
Yes, definitely. Get a good accountant that you can trust and can advise you.
Okay. Yeah, that's... I never heard of an accountant getting a shout out on the podcast about giving good business advice. It's usually something else. But shout out to all the accountants out there.
Yes,
and
definitely.
giving out the support to the business owners to make sure that they don't repeat the same mistakes.
Yep.
Cool. Couple last... I want to go with a couple... I'm getting close to the end of this... Did you watch Avengers?
The last one I did. Yeah.
Were you disappointed, or did you like it?
It was good. I didn't mind it. I mean, I'm not a big Marvel person.
Okay.
So I couldn't be disappointed too much.
Got it.
I'm not.
Did you watch it before or after episode 3 of Game of Thrones?
Before? I don't remember.
Okay, so did you watch the Battle of Winterfell before before Avengers?
Do you want me to say which one was better? Or?
No. I just wanted to see. I saw Avengers.
Right.
I saw Avengers after I saw the Battle of Winterfell.
Okay.
Right. So I didn't see Avengers. Like Avengers came out on Thursday, so I did not see it for the first 5 days that it came out. I saw it on Tuesday.
Okay, so I had to see Avengers afterwards too because I didn't see it when it barely came out either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. The stupid movie was hyped up. Like, I mean, they're like, oh, yeah, this is the greatest movie ever. I'm like...
It was a decent movie. It was good, but...
It was good, but I'm just going to be frank.
I wasn't pissed about paying the money to see it in the theaters. Like, it wasn't that bad.
It sucked compared to what everyone was saying.
Well, that's people's fault. People hyped it up.
I get it. I'm a Marvel guy. I like Marvel movies. I like the comic books. I have a bunch of comic books. I have the first set of Marvel trading cards from 92. Right. So, like them. I was expecting something great. I just saw episode 3, Battle of Winterfell, hour and 30 minutes of epicness. Epicness. And they served me up a flat soda with Avengers.
That bad, huh?
Oh man, I was disappointed. Compared to what I was.
I thought it was entertaining. Yeah, I thought it was entertaining, but yeah, no. Did it live up to the hype everybody made it out to be? No, it was a decent movie. It was good, but yeah. Episode 3 of Game of Thrones was way better.
Oh yeah, I don't want to call. I mean, I want to just go out and just call it Avengers. Endgames was trash. It wasn't trash. It just disappointed. Whatever, I'll let it go.
Yes.
Eventually. Maybe in about 6 months. Or if anyone ever brings it up, But, all right, Edgar. Last question.
Go for it, Nick.
I really don't know what to ask you. Because we've covered a lot. And you've really given some straightforward advice.
I think
and
so.
I don't... I mean... People may be good at something, but they may not be ready to start a business. I think that was very solid. But if you can go back in time 5 years, would you tell yourself anything then that you now know?
Anything then that I now know. As far as owning a business, like
Anything. Anything that you've experienced in the last 5 years, you can go back in time and tell your younger self 5 years ago, A.
Yes, buy the Bitcoin. I'm still thinking about buying Bitcoin.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Dude, one of my friends, he bought Bitcoin in like 2011, 12.
Yeah, it was pennies. I that's what I'm saying. Like when Bitcoin barely came out, and I read about it and everything, and I'm like, should I spend $1,000 on this and kind of
Just let
let it go,
Forget about it.
forget about it. And then I just kind of got caught up on still kind of developing my business and running a business, and just kind of put it on the back burner. Like, okay, we'll see what happens. I'll have time for it. And then kind of forgot about it. And then, well, you know what happens with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That came and went. But I
Yeah.
think the backbone of cryptocurrency is real.
yeah, definitely.
I don't know too much about it. My buddy who bought Bitcoin in 2011 kind of gave me a
So
breakdown
did he
of it.
buy it for under $1? Like
Oh,
a
yeah,
dollar?
he
Yeah,
got
he
his-
bought it for like cents, like 3, 4, 5 cents.
I don't know exactly what he bought it for, but he got it really cheap.
Okay.
And I think he ended up selling, so he did make money. But this is what he told me. Oh, actually, no, take it back. This is how I understood it. So Bitcoin is not cryptocurrency.
Mm.
Bitcoin is like Netscape. It's a browser that's part of the internet system, right? Cryptocurrency is the internet. But the internet has all these different layers that make the internet great. So, and I told him, I go, so is that how I'm understanding? He's like, yes. So eventually there's going to be different ways of using this form of currency where we pretty much eliminate institutions from us spending money between each other.
Right. Yeah,
like-
it's a more straightforward way to get money from me to you.
Yeah.
Without a middleman,
So I was like, wow, okay.
without having to use a bank.
So I understood that. So I was like, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So you would have told yourself to invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's a little pricey right now, so I'm like, but
It's still pricey?
yeah.
Oh,
It's still,
I thought it tanked already.
no,
Oh, okay.
it went down. I think it's back up to like close to $9,000 or something.
Oh, wow.
So
Well, Edgar, thank you so much. If you are in the area of Lakewood,
yes,
please
definitely.
go check out his spot. If you haven't already, I'm pretty sure you have, especially if you like Mexican food and bomb tacos.
Tacos, yeah.
You know?
Mostly tacos.
Do you have an Instagram?
I do, but I don't handle it.
Oh,
My wife handles it.
Oh, it's for your restaurant.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
about to
yeah.
slap you across the face.
Yeah. My wife
I'm like,
handles it.
You don't have an Instagram account? Like,
Yeah.
you
No,
gotta
right.
always have an Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah,
and
yeah, we do.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
You gotta be on all of them.
Yes, definitely.
And they're all
But,
different. Understand that.
Yeah.
So, what is your Instagram handle? You don't
I don't
even
know.
know it.
I don't.
I will figure it out. I will
yes,
figure it out
please.
and share it with everybody. Okay.
We'll ask Angie about it. Yeah.
Cool. But thank you so much for being here, Edgar.
No problem.
I hope you guys learned.
Yeah,
I know I
hopefully.
learned a whole lot about business and doing your goddamn research.
Yeah.
So you don't make the same mistakes.
Hopefully
and find
I
yourself a
did.
good accountant.
Yeah. Hopefully, I discourage somebody from opening a room.
I know, right?
No,
if your
no.
goal is to discourage one person from opening a restaurant,
Mission accomplished.
done. Thanks,
Yeah,
Edgar.
it's a lot of work.
Oh my god, dude. I think that